Good evening, everybody out there in Chester County and on my Facebook page. Doggone it. You don't know how hard this was this evening, but we did it. We're like a Timex watch. We take a licking and keep right on ticking. You know how the devil is sometimes. Right before it was showtime, started getting some technical glitches and had to stop and reboot and all that kind of stuff. But it don't matter because I am here this evening. This evening we got a young lady, Heather Grayburg. I always mix it up. Don't know whether to say B-E-R-G or B-U-R-G, but a bird is a bird no matter what you call it, right?
That's right.
I am so excited because we've been waiting for this for a minute now, right? But
Yes.
there's a few announcements I got to make before we do anything and everything, because most of you viewers out there, you know what to do. I need y'all to somebody already did Revival Production. Okay, they already got us taped in and tapped in there because we want to see the comments and any questions that you may have. So there's a few things. Vinny Zambuto, you know I love you, man. Hey, Vinny, wait a minute. I just text you for Heather's phone number in case this thing didn't work out. Okay, so we're good there. Wait a minute. We're going to make some moves over here, and then we're going to be just fine. I don't know where it's at, but we're going to get it. But look, tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen, is being sponsored by the Thomas ladies, Crystal and Shannon from Simply Strip and the Social Station. I want to thank them for sponsoring this show. We had them on last night? Yes, or the night before last, and it was a fantastic show. Now, you have to forgive me if I do any stumbling right now because I am really behind. I'm telling you, I was nervous, man. Murphy's Law was trying to mess with me earlier, but we are here. I'm still trying to get us over here on this piece of equipment. If we don't, it'll be just fine. Oh, there we go. Now we're on both. But look, before we get any further, before we get to the meat and the potatoes, I got to give y'all the dessert first. So the upcoming guest that I got is going in this week, next week, and the week after. We're going to have Vic Octaria. I love that name. That name's almost as good as Benny Zambuto's. But Vic Octaria, he's the CEO of Tower Health up there at Brandywine. We're going to have Roger Wayne, the man and the brains behind that CYWA, all those good things that they be doing, food giveaways and all that stuff. We're going to have James Logan, one of the best dressed men in Coatesville, the assistant manager of Coatesville, the Hickland twins, who has created this platform called Droop, which allows designers and people just to get their brands out there and all kind of stuff. Kaya Scott, one of my favorites. She used to be in charge of Coatesville Youth Initiative, but she's now has Kaya Scott Consulting LLC. She's going to be on. Kevin Davis, KTB Graphics, and we're going to have a family night. We're going to have this family called the Norris family. Everybody in their family is entrepreneurs. They're either making something, selling something, doing something. So I think we need to have family people on there. So the family nights, and then last but not least, we're going to have Joel Lambert, who is a vegan chef. I'll never need him in my business. Look, vegetables is like a foreign substance in my body. I eat nothing but meat. I don't know how I lasted this long, I'm telling you. But that's besides the point. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce y'all to Miss Heather Grayburg, but I'm going to read her biographical stuff, her bio. This is so exciting, too. She's been doing some stuff. And then I'm going to do some imitations. I'm going to see if she know who it is since she knows performing arts and all that kind of stuff. Let me see. Who we got here? Heather Grayburg, president/executive artistic producer, is a professional performer, choreographer, and director in the greater Philadelphia area. She's originally from Bridgeton, New Jersey. She and her husband moved to Coatesville in 2015 and fell in love with the area. With a career spanning over 20 years, she has performed professionally across the country and has spent recent years working on creative teams throughout the region. She recently resigned from Lancaster Bible College, where she was the dance coordinator, a professor of musical theater and dance for 3.5 years. There, she also served as both a director and choreographer on multiple productions. Most recently, the regional premiere of Ruth. Oh man, I missed that. I wanted to see that too. An original Sight and Sound Theaters production. She holds a BM in musical theater from Westminster College of the Arts of Rider University, where she graduated with honors above all else. Her greatest love is being a child of God and wife to Daniel. She even got a strong biblical name too. Daniel. We can tell some stories about Daniel, can't we? All right, we're not going to do it. Mother of her 2 daughters. Hashtag do more art. And why don't you just say something and say hello to the viewers out there, Heather, before we get started?
Hi, everybody. I am so honored and privileged to be on City Town Talk tonight. If my girls are watching, Eden and Selah, hi. And thank you so much, Fonz, for asking me to be on your show.
And it's truly my pleasure. Now, look, all my viewers out there, I need you to go into the comment section and say hi. You got any questions? Because we're getting ready to talk about some stuff. And I'm just so excited. But now Vinny Zambudo, he had to put his two cents in it. So I'm gonna read some stuff he got. And it gives me more clarity about what this young lady does. Vinny said, did you know Coatesville is getting a theater and performing arts school right here in the city? Kids and adults can learn to act, sing, dance, play instruments, how to DJ, how to model, all kinds of things. You can even build a bookshelf and stuff like that right there, right? What can't you do? I'm so excited because I just know our community needs something like this.
Yes.
I know they do. And hey, Iris, I want to thank you for checking in. Vinny said, hey, Fonz and Heather. Iris Holmes checked in. Patrice Proctor, I want y'all. Hey, Iris, Patrice, if y'all got any questions, stay tuned. Because we're getting ready to find out what this theater is all about. Because, you know, if Coatesville's rising, we need some different kind of stuff. Ain't that right, Heather?
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I'm 70 years old. Am I too old to learn how to act?
Absolutely not. We have classes for, we have actually classes for babies in music and that kind of thing, all the way through acting for adults and even dance classes for adults. You're never too old to start something new or revisit a love that you might have had from when you were younger.
Okay, I'm gonna audition right now. They call me Mr. Tibbs. I could have been a contender. That's all I got. Okay.
I think you're quite the character.
Yeah, I need a lot of attention. But look, check this out, Heather. Who are some of your favorite actors and actresses since you into that first?
Okay, so I would say that, so as far as actors, I love Norm Lewis. I've seen him several times on Broadway. He is a phenomenal actor. And I also love Hugh Jackman because I feel he is truly able to go from screen to film to concert and achieve. I love Felicia Rashad. I saw her in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof on Broadway back in 2008. And it was like a masterclass watching her. And I love Meryl Streep as well, because I mean, there isn't a role I don't think that woman can do. So those are just a couple of my personal inspirations, and for multiple reasons.
Well, wait a minute, Shannon D. Thomas says she loves the arts. She is the queen, the CEO of the Social Station. She's one of our sponsors tonight for our tonight's show. And good, while we're talking about Hugh Jackman, he's quite a dancer. And plus, I liked him in the Marvel movies when he was not the werewolf. What was he?
Wolverine.
Wolverine. Too bad.
Yeah. Hi, Shannon. We're actually going to be partnering with Shannon on some upcoming events at Revival. Our eventing company. Yes. We got to get the girls together and take over.
Breaking news, Coatesville. I'm telling y'all, that's why y'all got to keep checking out City Town Talk. We are breaking news right there. So Shannon, hang in there. Now, let me ask you, what brought you to Coatesville?
So I actually moved to Exton about 6 years ago. I was contracted to work at Sight and Sound Theater as a performer out in Lancaster. And my husband was a music teacher for the Philadelphia School District and Settlement Music School. So we were looking for a location that would be good for both of us. And we found Exton. And while we were living there and I was commuting to Sight and Sound every day, I actually became pregnant with my oldest daughter. And then when I ended at Sight and Sound, I still wanted to stay in this community. Daniel had then gotten a job in Exton. So I wanted to get a little bit closer to Lancaster, and Coatesville just it kept coming up on the map. It was the perfect location for my industry. I was halfway between Lancaster and Philly. I was close to Baltimore. I had a train in town to go to New York when I needed to. I was close to the Delaware theater scene. And it also reminded me a lot of my hometown of Bridgeton, New Jersey. So I automatically felt like I had a home. And so this is about 5 years ago.
Get out of here! Get out of here! And we're lucky. We're lucky and blessed that you made those decisions. Now, why did you start Revival Productions?
About, oh goodness, I want to say it was more than 3 years ago now. My husband and I, we were actually living in Valley Township. And whenever we had a chance, I was so drawn to downtown Coatesville. We would go to Giant and I'd say, can we just drive all the way through Coatesville, all the way back home? It didn't make sense. I should have gotten on the bypass, but we didn't. And the more and more we started to take Lincoln all the way down, we'd say, oh, can't you just imagine like going to a show and then popping across the street to go to a restaurant or going shopping beforehand? And I've been a part of a theater preservation society endeavor before. I know what the arts can do for a community. And finally, after we were talking so much, 3 years later, or 3 years ago, we decided, instead of saying someone should do something, we decided that we should.
Okay, good. Let's take a second to acknowledge some of our viewers. Sharon DeShields, she's my pew partner at New Life in Christ Fellowship. Sharon's good to see. One of my favorite people, Cass Rowland, is watching. Tracy Morris is watching. Tracy's good to see. Tracy's like my best friend. He must be my best friend. He's got all my bank information. Okay, that's too much information. Let's see. Let's go on. So, how long has Revival Productions been in existence?
We incorporated in October of 2017. And the way that actually came about was so in the summertime, we decided, yeah, let's definitely do this of 2017. I actually met with Sonny Hunsinger of the RDA, and I just wanted to get a sense of what the presence and culture was in Coatesville. I couldn't find a ton online from colleagues in the area. I couldn't really figure out a lot from that. So I met with her, and it was an interesting meeting. My husband that was there with me at that point, we wanted to call ourselves Revival Theater Company, and we actually ended up changing the name so that way we didn't have to stick to theater, but we could be ambiguous in our offerings. And it was a very interesting meeting. I don't want to say that I left feeling defeated, but maybe a little deflated. But a couple days later, Sonny actually emailed me a list of contacts and people in the area that I could connect with and possibly dovetail with. And then I'd connect with one person, and then it connected me to another, and then it connected me to another. And I was able to surround myself with all of these other arts professionals that were local, but weren't doing the exact same thing as we were, but we were able to work with on projects. One of those is Jan Michener from Arts Holding Hands and Hearts, AHA. We actually partnered with a project on her last summer, and she's been a great supporter of us, and we've been a great supporter of her as well. So after that meeting, we decided we want to do Revival Productions so that we could offer a wide variety, not just our theater productions. And then we incorporated in October. That following summer, so the summer of 2018, over at the Gordon Middle School, we did our first 2 summer camps, as well as our Talent Slam Live, which was a community talent show, really just to say, hey, we're here, welcome to the community. And Melinda Matson won a $500 grand prize. We had a great panel of judges, including Walt Anderson and several other professionals. And the summer camps were so great. The first one went so well, we did Disney's Lion King Jr. And then the second one, our teen intensive, actually sold out.
Okay, yeah, I remember some of the performers. They performed at our block party, our MCDC block party. And that
yes, we love that.
It was a great time. Okay, look, we got Joel Lambert, who's going to be on the show in the future. He's that vegan chef who I'll never need in my life because I don't eat vegetables. Wait a minute. Oh, and then it just went blank. What happened? Oh, okay, let's see. Maybe I need to switch over here. I did see, who else? I seen Lisa Marsh's name on there. I'll tell you, when that, if it ain't one thing, it's 2 things. So until it comes back on, we're going to keep going. If I don't acknowledge you and mention your name, my viewers out there, it is because it's coming up blank a little bit. But that's all right. Y'all still stay tuned in. We got more information. Okay. Why does Coatesville need a theater and a performing arts slash conservatory?
There are a lot of reasons, but let me just start with the first, and that is $31.47. The American for the Arts organization has a Prosperity 5 research project that they do about every 5 years. And the most recent study in 2015 identified that $31.47 on average go back out into the community above a ticket price. So arts and culture is an excellent way of boosting the economy in an area. That's $31.47 that might go to shopping at a boutique, parking, going to a restaurant, getting a drink afterwards, gas at the local gas station. So we truly believe and founded ourselves upon the fact that Revival can be an economic catalyst for Coatesville. And while supporting ourselves at that ticket price, we have the opportunity to reach all of the other industries in Coatesville as well. So that's for one thing. The other is that arts education is, and we know it is happening all the time. The budgets are constantly being cut in schools. It's kind of on the back burner for a lot of school districts and places. And we wanted to make sure that we were a hub for students who maybe want additional training, and not even just children, but for adults as well, to have that continuing education outside of the classroom, as well as partnering with schools and being a resource for them. And the third is jobs. With Revival, when we founded, being a professional actress myself, I wanted to make sure that we were employing every single person that came through our doors, with the exception of the kids who are here to take part of our ed programs. So we pay all of our directors and choreographers, all of our actors get paid, and we draw in people from Lancaster and Philly and even from the New York area. We are actually, I'm hoping and praying that we get it. I just applied for an NEA grant yesterday that would support a technical theater training program. So that way we can develop artists in technical theater so they can learn that craft and be able to be paid for it in the long run. So that is something that I am very passionate about. And while we are doing that at humble levels right now with stipends and paying hourly wages to teachers, I believe that as Revival continues to grow, we can offer even bigger job opportunities out of our offices.
Good. So now let me ask you, Revival Production, are y'all taking that whole building there, up there on the corner?
So we're in the school, the former St. Stanislaus School right now.
Right.
So in the lower level of the school, we have our Black Box Theater. Upstairs, we have, which is where I am right now. Upstairs, we have 3 large dance studios and mixed use studios. We also have 3 private lesson rooms, a wardrobe room. So if anyone knows how to sew, we can employ you. If you teach lessons, we have 3 private lesson studios, which are also going to be teaching not just our instrumental and voice and piano, but they're also going to be teaching DJ lessons and sound design and that kind of thing. So the nice thing about this space is that we can do our smaller performances and even some larger musicals in the Black Box, but then also have the educational aspect going on upstairs all the time. The hope is to have a main stage theater, which is even larger and will work in conjunction with the Black Box. But for right now, we're just focusing on the conservatory building and the Black Box.
Good. Well, let me, Iris Holmes, say good evening. She says she enjoys the arts and excited to see this evolve in our community. Sandy Denise Carter, she's saying hello. And of course, Iris is saying Coatesville's rising. That's our favorite. That's our favorite saying. We have it on our shirts and everything, so don't steal it.
I love it.
What is a conservatory? What is that?
Yeah, so a conservatory is a school essentially, but a lot of times a conservatory is better associated with a concentrated form of study. So every single teacher that we have at Revival has a minimum of a bachelor's degree. We even have some with their master's and doctorates. And if they don't have that, then they have a wealth of professional experience. So if you're sending your kids here, or if you're taking class yourself, you're going to be learning from somebody who has the credentials and the degree to back up the training. And so with the name conservatory, we felt that that was really, it was really reflective of the intense nature of our training programs, but we also have programs with a lot of fun and even like fitness classes and that kind of thing. So if your kid's here taking a trumpet lesson, well, you can do Zumba right next door.
Okay. All right. So what kind of performances you think you'll be doing? Give me some names and give me some kind of ideas.
Okay, well, we actually just updated our website. There's some I can't announce, but we have established our season through the end of 2021, and we are continuing to add some. So as of right now, we are doing Sweeney Todd, the school edition, and that's for 12 to 18-year-olds. We are doing a one night only Chillin' with the Villains event, and that's one that we're partnering with Shannon on. It's kind of like a flash mob style Halloween party for 21 and over. We're doing Poe, which is the stories and retellings of stories and poems of Edgar Allan Poe. This December, we're going to be doing It's a Wonderful Life, as well as Readings and Carols, which is a community choir event. Because while we always employ our actors, we want to make sure that the community has a way to engage as well. And a lot of people haven't sung since high school, so the community choir is a great way of doing that. In February, for example, we are doing Ruby, the Ruby Bridges story. And that is a musical retelling of little Ruby Bridges, who was the face of integrating schools in the South and so forth. We're doing a couple of really big musicals in March and April that I can't announce yet, but they're really great and super fun. In May, we're going to be doing a dinner theater event called From Terms of Endearment from the 1980s movie. So a great Mother's Day weekend event. Then June, we're doing Dreamgirls.
That's the one I'm waiting for.
We are transforming the entire Black Box into a nightclub. Because one thing that is unique about a Black Box theater and the way we've designed ours here, like you can see our stage right behind us. So we could do a traditional recital for a piano player or that kind of thing. But the Black Box actually can be done in many ways. The show can be in the round. So I really want that to feel like our audience and members are actually at a nightclub. We'll be doing summer camps again that summer. And then September seems to be a great pocket for that teen show. We're looking into that. And there's a couple others in the works. I've gotten the rights for them, but I can't announce them. But if I had to just give a guess, like a hint, one is a religious musical, but it's a mainstream musical. One that involves possibly some gambling, and the other has something to do with a giant person-eating plant.
Okay.
But I didn't say the names.
No, you didn't. Hey, look, and I had a question while you was talking too, but I'm so old, man. But thoughts come in one ear and go out the other. Now, wait a minute, what was I thinking? Because you were saying something good. Oh, A Wonderful Life is a good one too. That's an old classic.
It's A Wonderful Life, yes.
That one, yeah. Okay, Milton Young has checked in. Ella has checked in, and so has Walt Washington. Vinny said Talent Slam.
Yes.
Vinny is one. How can I forget? He's one of your biggest fans, I'll tell you.
He is a great supporter and board member, and I actually roped him in because the first time we did Talent Slam, I always try to support local businesses when I can, and I needed business cards. So I looked online and I found him, and he wasn't able to get them in time to me for what I needed. But then when I needed posters for Talent Slam, I connected with him, and I saw his love for the city and for the community. And then after, it might have only been a couple of weeks of connecting with him, he came to a board meeting and we appointed him to our board, and he's been there ever since. And he's not just the marketing guy. He was just running some Cat 5 cables for our phone lines. He builds sets. I like to think that he likes us after being around for so long. But he certainly does believe in what we're doing, and we appreciate him and all of our board members very much.
Darnisha Dickinson is checking in, and Iris Holmes said, awesome lineup. She wants to see Dreamgirls too. A quick side note. I have Dream Girls on my TV. I think I've seen about 14, 15 times because I like all the songs. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Like,
It is, the songs are great. And then, the film only, I feel like it wasn't very long ago that the film came out, but like maybe 10 years ago or so, with Eddie Murphy and Jennifer Hudson.
oh man, I love that thing.
It's so great. It is great. And yeah, I just feel like it's going to be a great opportunity for our community to engage with the arts.
So you already told me what kind of class, because you're having all kinds of classes at the conservatory. I love that sound, conservatory. It's like, oh, I take it, old chap. Thank you very much. So now check this out. Do you offer any scholarships? Because we need some help down here. Can you help us?
Right. So we do offer scholarships, and we have an established scholarship fund. We are actually looking at naming that fund. So if there are any donors out there that would like to honor a family member or memorialize a family member, we are looking to do that. So, one of the things that was also very important to me is that the arts have value. I still have student loan debt, and all of our teachers have tremendous training, and we believe that there is a price tag associated with that training. But I know, growing up in my household, it was very expensive. All three of myself and my two brothers are in the arts, and it was hard financially on my parents. And I like to think that, it would have been wonderful if they had some relief in that time. I said the other day I hadn't been to Disney World, and people were shocked. And I'm like, well, I dance 5 nights a week. I couldn't go to Disney World. But no, we do have a scholarship fund. It is all income and need based. And it is for everything from our drop-in classes that we have, our series classes that we offer, and our private lessons and summer camps. So we just ask for a little bit of documentation, and then that is good for 1 year. And we want to get every single kid or person in here to learn their craft and not let finances be a burden.
Okay, so what you're saying is, but there is some sort of cost to be a part of this, right?
It depends. So let's say, for example, a private lesson is X amount of dollars a month. If you are in the income category that you can pay that, then you can pay that. But we do a scale based on your documentation, your 1040s and pay stubs and that kind of thing. And you can get everything from completely free tuition for unlimited classes all the way up to 20, 30, 90% assistance. Also, even if people aren't able to get a tremendous amount of assistance based on those numbers, we always offer payment plans and multi-enrollment discounts, sibling discounts. We will work with people in whatever kind of position they're in.
I got you. Okay, let's see who else we got. Sharon D. Cooper Jolly checked in, and here's one of my favorites. She's the wife of my best friend, Lisa Mara. She said, "Great to see you moving forward, you tenacious woman of God." And
thank you, Lisa, for your support.
Yeah, it takes one to know one, because Lisa is a tenacious woman of God too.
Yes, I met her a couple of months ago, and very inspiring. And it's so wonderful. Revival, we're not a Christian organization, but I am a Christian. And one of the ways we actually landed on the name Revival is because after I had my oldest daughter, I had gone from working all over the country and full time to suddenly being home. And I really began to pray. And I was praying, God, what is the next phase of my life? And after praying, eventually the word revival just washed all over me. And for several years, I really was seeking for what revival was. And then when I started to see the redevelopment efforts and be drawn to the city, I really felt like revival had a purpose, but I would have never guessed back then that it would have been a production company. I thought maybe it was a show I'd write or something, but I feel like God has validated it because he's put great people in my life. Because when I don't have the answers, thankfully I know people that do. And it has not been without a battle that we are here now, and we're still fighting to make it happen, but it is happening. And I believe that God's timing is best.
Oh man, you said a mouthful. We can take about offering and a tithe on that one, I'll tell you. Good stuff, good stuff. Now, you already said there'll be some job training opportunities, am I correct?
Right. So we are looking to formalize that hopefully next year, but we do have classes in technical theater. So we're actually starting a class in mid-August with all the COVID-19 precautions. We are doing above and beyond what we can there. But there's actually a sound design class and a DJing class. And we're going to begin to implement more of these. But one of my goals and passions, and I'm just going to speak it into existence right now, is technical theater training. A training program that is for anyone really, but it would specifically be focused for people re-entering the workforce after previous incarceration, possibly at-risk youth, veterans re-entering the workforce, but it could be for anyone as well. And they would be able to, for 1 year, train with Revival staff members, and they would diversify in, construction, set design, lighting, sound, and then after several months, pick a track and actually get paid stipends to work on our shows, but also receive internship opportunities in a classroom type setting. So that way, and even look into union formation through Yahtzee Local 8, through Revival. So that way, even beyond that 1 year program, we could put them out into the theater world, which is actually a very lucrative business for technical theater artists. It's with Philly and Lancaster, there are so many venues that are looking to hire exquisite technical help. And we believe that that is a great access for people in those positions.
That sounds like a plan right there. And
I'm trying.
Hey, and please remember, reach out to Coatesville first, all right?
Yes.
Please.
That is our hope. We would have a teen program and then an adult program. And I haven't done it yet, but I'm hoping to connect with the OIC. My mother-in-law actually works there because they'd be a great resource for this kind of thing, and AHA, and really banding together with other like-minded organizations that have a passion for people and developing people.
Who's your mother-in-law at OIC?
Her name is Ruth Grayburg. She's a teacher. So she's been teaching GED students, and she's been close to a year now.
I know who she is. OIC is one of my favorite. Matter of fact, we are honoring Joyce Chester.
Wonderful.
The first Monday. Well, the gala that we were having was to honor her, Dr. Teresa Powell, and Senator Andrew Dinniman. But because of COVID, we had to rearrange our plans. But we're still going to honor Joyce Chester because she's special. And so is your mom. She be doing some good work up in there.
Yeah, she's a great teacher.
That is right. Hey, one of my female mentors is on, Roberta Steyer. She's writing a book, and we all can't wait till she comes out with that. Shannon Trago, it's good to see. Heather Lynn Butler has already wrote a book, and she's related to Roberta Steyer. I don't want to get embarrassed, Roberta, because I don't know if she's your cousin, your niece, your aunt, whatever it is. Anyway, y'all related. So thanks for viewing. But now let's move on. I'm so excited. This really sounds good. Will you be having spoken word up there at spoken word and stuff like that up there at the theater?
Yeah, I actually do plan on that. Little fun fact about me, I'm actually a published poet. Not very impressive, to be perfectly honest. But when I was a teenager, I participated in Poetry Out Loud, as well as Teen Ink, which was a creative writing magazine. And they selected my poem to be published in the magazine, and I was able to compete in the Poetry Out Loud competitions. So I do have a heart for spoken word. I don't really do it anymore. But one thing that once COVID releases our ability to do more, we actually are going to have probably monthly coffee houses. So there'll be one for adults and one for like 12 to 18-year-olds. So students and adults can come and do their spoken word. They can do whatever their talent is and just really be an outlet, an artistic outlet. But spoken word, and there's a lot of other things that we have even on our schedule. We're also looking at booking my personal favorite comedian, Kevon Carter. I started talking to him about coming out here, and a number of other kinds of events that are just really a great hub for arts and culture out of our building.
Okay, now while we're talking about spoken word, I had to ask that because one of my favorites is on here, and Roberta said Heather is her niece. Thanks for the clarity. But Heather Lynn Butler, who's on here, she is an author and she does spoken word. So Heather, you need to definitely get in touch with this young lady. Let me see who else I got. Now, whatever. That's two Heathers. Wait a minute. It's just hitting me. Heather, get in touch with Heather. Wow. It's no coincidence. Okay, here we go. What's next? All right. How can we support Revival Productions financially or as a volunteer audience member? How can we support y'all? How can we help?
Yeah, there are many ways that you can support Revival. Of course, we need donors, we need sponsors, and we actually have wonderful membership programs. So if you are an individual or a family, we have membership levels that if you give, let's say it's $500, you actually get 18 tickets for our entire season. And you get a number of other perks, including, I think it's 10% off of conservatory classes. So that's one way that you can support us. In-kind donations, we're taking clothing, you just never know what you're going to need to have on stage. So in-kind donations, if you're cleaning out your house, COVID style, I know you all are, we will definitely consider taking your items. And volunteers are actually a huge need for us. Whether you can sew or just like hem a skirt, or even acting as supervision for our teen audience, or our team members, or even, volunteering to bring a case of water for rehearsals. If you have any professional experiences to lend, whether it's working the reception desk or the box office or that kind of thing, we can pretty much find a fit for anybody that wants to help out. And even if you're totally green to this, we love you even more because we can filter you in a path that you might be interested in. And of course, just coming to our shows. We have ticket prices from pay what you will to $25 for musicals. And then like our big Halloween bash is probably going to be about $75 a ticket because that includes food. So there's a lot of ways that you can support Revival, and we are always open to talking with you and seeing how we can build a relationship that, especially if you're in a business, we can reciprocate advertising or services or anything you can pretty much imagine. We're open to working with you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, now, wait a minute. Tina Madsen, you just mentioned the Madsens a little bit earlier.
Yes.
Tina's on the set. Tina, top of the evening to you. Glad to see you. Okay, now, is this your first building that you've like had total control of it and you can do whatever it is you want? Is this the one?
Yes. It has been, we started looking 3 years ago, even just for a place to have our first summer camps. And so we were over at Gordon it was pretty much a full calendar year and then a little bit of change on the end there for some rehearsals. But I would say that not having our own venue has been the biggest hurdle because you can't get in when you need to. We can't plan performances that well. We'd kind of pop up and disappear. And we were never totally disappeared, but we were just, it was hard for us to plan without a venue of our own. And God really works in amazing ways because our biggest thing was finding a performance venue. And we always knew we wanted to have an education program. But when we came into this building, the former St. Stan's School, it was perfect. I mean, I'm telling you, we walked through this place and I could just see it happening. And so our idea of this education department ended up evolving even more into this full conservatory, which is very all-encompassing of the arts. We're even starting to include some fine art programming as well, and showcasing local artists on our walls and offering them an opportunity to sell their works. So this is the first building that we have control over, and it is awesome to get everything out of my closets and my shed. I'm not gonna lie.
I can imagine. Oh man, that is so good. I'm so happy for you. All right, you hold a BM in musical theater.
Yes.
What's a BM now? Come on, what's that?
Yeah. A BM is a Bachelor of Music.
Okay, all right, good stuff, good stuff. All right, let's see what else we got. What's the youngest age that's allowed to try out for plays and some of the other activities that you have on hand?
So as far as the classes that we're going to offer, we're going to have classes when we're allowed to, as young as 6 weeks for a little move and groove class for babies, all the way up through adults. I won't tell if you won't tell about how old you are.
Wow, 6 months.
6 months, little teeny boppers. I love it. And then as far as our shows, we always offer shows for youth, so junior productions and teen productions. But the shows that are throughout the year, even the youth get paid to be in those productions. So that's something that's great for our conservatory students to aspire to. So for example, the Ruby Bridges story, I mean, Ruby was 6 years old. We're going to probably need someone a little older than that to play the role, but that's going to be, you know, paid actors and actresses to be her and her classmates, all the way on up. But then our production of Dreamgirls, for example, we usually do, unless it calls for children, we're looking at mostly doing 18 and up.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you. So now churches have a lot of plays here in Coatesville. Will you ever be open to allowing them to rent a space to do a play in your building?
100%. I am an advocate for, I mean, our whole mantra now is do more art. I just want the art to be done. And if they're here and they're renting from us, we do have all of our spaces in the venue are available for rent. We have nonprofit pricing, and then we have standard pricing. And we like to work with people and offer them even tech support as well. So, you know, if you want to come in and do a church production, by all means, we are open to doing that and supporting that. And yeah, any way we can make it happen for people. We are here as a resource and not just an organization of our own. We want to partner with people as much as possible.
Will you be open every day?
Generally, yes. We'll have office hours Monday through Friday. We will have classes on Saturdays as well. And typically Sundays are off, but we do have some rehearsals on Sundays. And we also are open to booking on Sundays as well. We've had some churches reach out to us already. And as far as like birthday parties too, like we can make it all happen as far as rentals.
So what has been some of the biggest challenges and obstacles that you've had so far?
I think there's a couple things that come to mind. Some are a little heavy, if that's okay.
Yeah,
One has actually been being a woman. I remember, I won't mention who, but about 2 years ago, I wanted to partner with another organization and just see, you know, I'd love to see us come together to do something. And the executive that I was talking to said, you know, well, you do understand that we pay our musicians, we do pay these people and everything. I'm like, yes, I know, I get paid too. That's what I'm looking to do. And then he said, well, you know, I'd really like to talk to your husband. And then to which I said, you can talk to me. And, you know, my conversation ended with, you know, you just keep smiling and make the world a better place. So I took that and I put it in my back pocket and I just decided to succeed. So, and, you know, I take those experiences and I grow from them. And we have a great team of men and women. And, you know, we're here to make things happen, but I don't want anyone to look down on me because of my sex or my age for that matter. And I'd say that the other challenge has also too sometimes been not actually being from Coatesville. Who are you? Well, I'm Heather Grayburg and I chose to be here because I love it. This is my home now. We own a home over on Walnut Street. My children born here and, you know, we're here to stay. We love it. So those are two personal challenges that I've combated. But like I said, I have a great support team and mentors. Sue Springsteen is a mentor of mine. I haven't even met her yet. We've just talked on the phone several times. And I love surrounding myself with strong women who and men who can come alongside of me and make this dream happen. Particularly my husband. He's the co-founder with me and he's seen me cry and he's seen me laugh over this whole thing, but we're just in it to win it over here.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Here we got a question from one of our viewers, one of my favorite fellows. His name is Cash Rowland, and I always like to
barbecue, right?
Man, Big Boy's barbecue sauce.
I love that barbecue sauce.
He's in almost 80 stores. Man,
it is my favorite.
Hey, I love him. I love him. He wants to know, do you have a mailing list that we can get on to stay informed with what you guys are doing? Yes.
So if you go to our website, which is www.revival-productions.com, you'll see a subscriber list. So if you get on that list, we'll be able to send you all of the information about upcoming performances. And, you know, maybe we could even have like a Big Boys event here or something like that. A Broadway barbecue, so to speak. Who knows? But yeah, that's a great way of finding out more about us, just to learn the upcoming events, but then also about sponsorship opportunities and membership opportunities as well.
Good stuff. Now, have you ever produced plays in a community as diverse as ours?
I would say yes. Like I said, I'm originally from Bridgeton, New Jersey, which has a very similar demographic overall to Coatesville, even similar income levels. And so I actually did productions there a lot. And as far as producing, not as much because I haven't been in a position to do so. But one thing I am dedicated to is making sure that our staff and our productions reflect the audience members that we're going to have. And that is by picking productions that showcase Black and other people of color writers, actors, color conscious casting, and doing some thought-provoking pieces centered around race and poverty, and because I feel that the arts are an excellent way of discussing some of these difficult subjects, because it becomes a vehicle of communication, and sometimes it's the easiest way to talk about these things. So I think that we can also take a lot of effort with our productions by also offering talkback series. So, some things we've talked about is maybe we do a piece based on race, and then we can get a panel from maybe Cheney University or other local activists, and they can maybe talk about Ruby Bridges and that. So using theater as a means of education, but also making sure that our programming is reflective of our community and everyone within it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I want to read a couple of comments from some of the viewers.
Sure.
Okay, here we go. Vinny Zambuto said, follow Revival Productions for the theater company and Red Pack Revival Performing Arts Conservatory for the arts in school. Cass Rowland says, I love the theater. And Iris Holmes, she said, Heather, welcome to Coatesville, and thank you for being a game changer in our community. I believe this is a part of God's plan.
Amen.
Iris Holmes, you're going to meet her. She's a very spiritual young lady too.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay. Now, when will you officially be in the building?
Well, hopefully Saturday.
Ooh.
We're beginning summer camp.
There's a lot of stuff going on Saturday. I mean,
there is.
Well, let me ask you, will people be able to come into your building Saturday? You said you'll be in there, but
Monday is the hope. We are working on passing final inspections on Friday. There's a whole thing, because it never is easy, right? Those things are never easy. But we actually start our summer camps on Monday, and they're all very I don't want to say reduced, like we have decent numbers of kids, all within COVID guidelines, outdoor, indoor programming, as well as mask wearing and all of that. But we have our Broadway Bound Camp, which is 2 weeks, and that's for kindergarten through 6th graders. We have our auditions prep and technique camp, which is all beginning this Monday, and that's for 7th to 12th graders. The following week, we start our dance intensive, Raising the Bar, and that's for 7th through 12th graders. And then we also have a preschool camp, Storybook Preschool Theater Camp, which is beginning in August. So we're mostly right now, until about mid-August, we're starting with our theater camps. We're also doing some rehearsals, socially distanced rehearsals for an upcoming production. And we are also doing our private lessons. So if you're interested in those, you can go to our website and inquire. And then our drop-in classes will probably begin around mid-August. We're looking at like acting classes, ballet bar classes, so fitness. And I should also mention there's a couple of series classes beginning in mid-August. One is Intro to DJing for youth, and one is for adults. And there's Intro to Sound Design for youth and adults. And then there's the Triple Threat Musical Theater Fundamentals. And I believe that's for 2nd through, I can't remember. 2nd through 6th grade, maybe, something in that. So if you go to our website, you'll see what we're currently enrolling for. But you can stop by on Monday if you like, come into the office. It'll probably be a mess, but it's nice to see the beauty of what's coming.
Good, good, good. I would love to get some pictures.
Yes, please do. It's a totally different space. If you've ever been in here before, the whole entire black box is now black and not mint green. And we have studios going in, sprung, state-of-the-art dance flooring. Only the best for Coatesville. So we really have some state-of-the-art equipment coming.
Good stuff, good stuff. Bernadette, I see you finally checked in. It's good to see you. Where do you see Revival Productions in 5, 10 years? What's your vision?
5 years, 10 years. So I would like for us to be a union house, which is a member of the Actors Equity Association, and being able to pay living wages to actors and performers. I would love to see us in a tremendous, wonderful main stage, in addition to our conservatory and black box, because I think those are special places as well. I would love to see us increase full-time staff, mostly so I can stop and focus on what I'd like to do. But first and foremost, I'd love to see Revival be a beacon for Coatesville and be the catalyst that can draw in those restaurants. So that way, after a show, I can go out with a cast and celebrate. So that way I can grab, a nice dress right down the street and head over to a show right afterward. I really want to see us be that beacon and prove that $31.47 is completely valuable because of what we put into the arts and culture scene here at Coatesville. And I want to see other organizations thrive as well.
Good stuff, good stuff. We're almost at the end of the time, but I always ask 2 questions before I free anybody up. Number one is always, the next last question is, I always want to know how faith played a part in your journey.
Right. So I sometimes think, like, how did I get here? For one thing, I'm a girl from New Jersey. I thought that I had a plan for my life. I mean, I was being brought in for Broadway auditions, and I interned on a Broadway show, and I thought my path was a very, nose blind, like, this is what I'm doing, nothing else is going to change. And then little by little, God kind of kept veering me off that path, but it was for my own benefit. And so at some point, I think I had to succumb to it and say, God, I'm here to be used by you, not to use you for my benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that finally, when I succumbed, I am here in Coatesville. I really love this community, and I'm just ready to be a vessel to you. And like I said, that was actually about 5 years ago when Revival came to me, but I didn't know what it was. I would say that was a very pressing time of faith and learning God in a way that I hadn't before.
Good stuff, good stuff. Now, hey, Hogarth, it's good to see you, man. Trying to see if I can get what's your sister-in-law to be on our show there, Hoagie. So trying to run interference for me and help me out with that. My last question is always this. I always like my guests to leave a word or impart some sort of wisdom and insight or something to help those who are tuning in, who may be going through the journey of trying to obtain a dream or to pursue a vision or things of this nature. So use anything that you like to do, but say something that will encourage those who are listening to you that they can do and be more than they think they can do and be. Come on, talk to me.
Right. I would say first and foremost, while it's not always easy to hear, but we are not entitled to our dreams. Yes, we should go after them. Yes, we should have a heart that is fierce and go after the things that we want. But don't be surprised when things veer in other directions, because you might end up in Coatesville starting a theater and performing arts company and being so much more fulfilled than if I were in New York and not married and living, that millennial actress lifestyle. You just can't prepare for the end game. Only God knows the end game. And you just have to open your heart to whatever he has in store for you. And the other thing is to surround yourself with people that you truly trust and mentors that, even if you're not a person of faith, people that speak into you and sometimes can look at you and say, hey, girlfriend, get your act together. You are better than this.
Hey, I like that. And I think that's a good way and a good place for us to end this evening. And look, first of all, was it good for you though, Heather? Was this okay?
Yes, this was awesome.
I like it. I like it.
Probably won't go back and watch it. I never go back and watch anything I do because I get self-conscious. But I mean, if we were able to impart even just a little about what Revival is all about and mine and my husband's heart for this project, then it was all worth it.
Man, you showed a whole lot, and you threw out some opportunities and things of that nature. So this is a beautiful thing. Look, my show is always about one of three things: education, information, and inspiration. Now you hit all three of them, so I'm good now. If people don't want to partake of what you put on the platter and on the plate, that's on them. But look,
that's up to them. We are here if you want us, and but we're going to be Coatesville's rising, Revival's rising with it, and we're really just honored to be here and doing this with Coatesville.
Good. Hey, look, man, don't forget, everybody, if you can read what's on my refrigerator, you get an extra prize. You get a Coatesville Rising t-shirt. But I want to see you read that. Tell me what's on there. Now, before I go, I want to let y'all know I appreciate all the viewers. Susan Springsteen, you all late. She checking in. It's almost time to go to bed. But that's all right, because we're going to replay this. But I want to thank all the viewers that view this show, who have accepted me, who have shown hospitality to the guests and all this stuff. Man, I'm just a guy from South Philadelphia. And like Heather said, you may think you're going one way and the Lord just bring you all up in this other way. Now I'm in Coatesville. I can't even get out of here. It's been 32 years. I don't want to go nowhere either. So look, I want everybody to have a great night. I want y'all to remember that Coatesville's rising. And remember, Black lives do matter. Peace out. Good night, Heather.
Good night. Thank you so much.
Look at this again, too, because I'm gonna make sure you get it.
Great.
Bye-bye.